was somewhat like a tradition for my family. My uncles and all of them are in it. So they're the ones that organized us. As we grow into it, and we start off young.
I don't actually know if I want to leave in the first place. But you know, not that much guys would want to in the first place to leave it if they wanted to. Because we're mostly proud of it.
It's going on my 8th year being at Massachusetts. And it all started a long time ago when I was young, smaller. Much younger than I am now. Over some, I used to live in the wrong neighborhood, and they always try to recruit me to become Land King. I don't want to become no Land King. You know, I didn't know I was going to be part of a gang, but after they started harassing me and, threatening me, I just switched to the other side.
My father worked days, my mother worked nights, and sometimes I felt alone. And my friends were, the only thing I could look, towards, I felt alone. A lot of kids feel alone sometimes. That's why they join sometimes.
There's a lot of talk about young people joining gangs from the point of view of pressure to get in. People seem to think, kids are pressured. I'm sure that happens, but far more kids want to join. Now that I realize is hard to accept, but they do because they feel frustrated, unhappy, and bored at home, and the excitement and action is out on the street. And so it's often to the streets they turn for their friendships and their peer acceptance, and in many cases that means gangs.
Pinpointing reasons why a young man makes a serious commitment to a gang is one of the most frustrating aspects of gang intervention.
What else can a young person do if they're unemployed, unmarketable, lack even a 6th grade education, and they're on the street corner?
Roberto Rivera is the director of the Chicago Intervention Network, the first comprehensive city-funded program to specifically address gangs and youth crime. Although he has a wide range of services to offer, his years of experience have taught him that the first step is always identifying and understanding the reality of life for urban youth.
Many young people face gangs and have to join gangs simply because if they don't join one group as opposed to another, they'll be victimized by both. The competition in terms of recruitment is real critical. And there is much in the form of alienation already on the part of young people, complicated by the fact that there's a sense of belonging that gangs offer young people. Thirdly, the fact of threats and violence if you do not participate.
You also have in many of the neighborhoods situations where a kid needs to be in a street gang to survive. That does occur here. They can't walk down the street, they can't go to school without paying a street tax. They may not be able to go out in their yard without being harassed by gangs. So intimidation, I think, can be a big factor also.
There would be pressure for any kid to join because the opposition's coming over. They're always asked who they be about. That's how they said, who you be about. And you be about the opposition, you're in trouble. You be about yourself. Sometimes you're in trouble, sometimes they don't care. They leave you alone. Then on the other hand, the opposition's coming over, or they're beating you up as you walk through their neighborhood, and you start to say, I guess I better do something about this. There's not many choices, and I join the boys in my neighborhood, and they'll protect me.
Of course, the level of intimidation varies with the gang and the neighborhood. But in areas labeled high risk, such as Cabrini Green, it's difficult to avoid gang recruitment.
It's really cool while you're young, no problems, none of the guys over here bother you, but you make about, I'll say, 12 or 13 years old is when all the problems start, trouble with the gangs over here, because you grow up with guys, and then on this side, when you grow up with these guys, they join one gang, then the other guys that they join another gang. Whatever neighborhood you live in, it's like you either join that gang or you join other gang or be a peon.
Besides direct intimidation and recruitment, gangs grow by appealing to young people's unfulfilled felt needs. Gangs often portray themselves as surrogate parents, offering the kind of love and support that many youth don't get at home.
What it is, a lot of people don't take time out. That's why they grow up like they do, Mainly be the parents too, They take time out, but they don't take the time out with their kids they supposed to.
I wish their parents would be more closer to them, so they won't feel alone, so they don't have to look for another source of comforting. And thank God that my parents, now they realize where they went wrong with me, and they're trying to do something better with my younger sister, my younger brothers. That's what I thank God for. They learn, by one mistake.
The grim statistics tell the story, though they don't explain it. Minority youth are twice as likely as white youth to be born into a single-parent family or to be suspended from school. 3 times as likely to be poor. 4 times as likely to be murdered as a teenager or to be sent to jail between the ages of 15 and 19. The Children's Defense Fund, which compiled these depressing figures, concludes that this situation essentially guarantees the poverty of black children for the foreseeable future.
The gangs have to be related to poverty. I've known brothers, for example, their father, or uncle, or a relative, or some man in the community got them a good job, and they were able to make, $8, $9, $6, $7, $8, $10, $12 an hour, and bring home $200, $300 a week. Hey, brother, he still relate to the gang, lay a little money out to the guys that are not in, encourage him, but he got to get up and go to work, and he doesn't want to lose that job. He's able to get himself a car, or pay for the apartment, or get married, and have something. So in that sense, yes, money and poverty are have a direct relationship to gang development. No doubt about it.
Gangs are a form of economic survival. There is an underground economy associated with most gangs, particularly as they become more organized. Young people buy into that underground economy for obviously economic reasons, but also because of a sense of belonging.
They don't have too many other options today. They did when I was growing up, I think, but now I think they've taken a lot of those options away. The Reagan economics and things like that have taken all the social programs away from the gangs that, centers used to have. That's not there anymore.
Intimidation, unemployment, family pressures, the absence of healthy role models, and boredom are only a few of the factors that contribute to making gang membership an attractive option for urban youth. Many of these pressures are beyond the control of the individual teenager. Ironically, one of the operative words that must be used to explain the motivation of these youth is powerlessness. They are members of society who feel themselves increasingly marginalized by the larger culture and who subsequently turn to desperate means to affirm their identity. Next, we will look into that alternative subculture and into the lives of some of its survivors.
Pee-wee, my brother-in-law Lou Cans, a lot of friends got shot. I don't want to go into details. Stay here all day mentioning all my friends that got shot.
What was life like for you as a youngster growing up in Cabrini Green?
It's a lot of gang violence, You have to deal with gangs every day in this neighborhood.
I was in serious gang, problems and, gang fights most every day. And drugs and stealing and looking for trouble,
It's all in the luck, If you're lucky, you live all your life, Or, if you quit early, you live long, Take it too long. I had 3 friends killed this past year. One in May at the age of 16, one in 2 in August at the age of 19. Both of them 19.
When you get gangbangers alone, you find they're not quite as self-assured as they are when they're with their partners. In reality, they know that the life they lead is not an easy one.
They jumped me so many times. I jumped them a couple of times too, You have to accept that in the street life. You get beat and you beat.
One gang kills one member, they go back and get more. And they don't stop. It just keeps on and on and on.
Lost a lot of good friends, close friends.
How did that feel?
I felt, bad. I felt like, man, he's gone, and what we're gonna do, We'll take somebody else's life. It's just, it's freaked out.
You lose all the people that you love, have feelings for, that you've known for a long time and everything, you were close to, you lose them. That's just something that stays with you for the rest of your life. It never leaves you at all.
It's just a bad feeling to know that you can't go to some places because these guys will be there that don't like you, and, that's messed up. Nobody likes the feeling of, have to be walking around knowing someone wants to kill you.
On that.
That shit right there.
Hey,
Brother,
this one.
3 years ago.
That man just threw my bike though.
What did he do? He wanted to get out. Then it wasn't the point that they let him out. It was the point that
he just told him how he just didn't give a no more, you know. So hey, they took him out. That's how the game is.
For the most part, a gangbanger's life out here usually results in one of three things. He's either going to get himself killed, he's going to wind up in a penitentiary, or he's going to wind up probably paralyzed someplace. It's not a good outlook.
Yet deciding to just leave the gang is not always an option either. Many gangs consider this a violation and require you to go through what is called a line.
Just can't say, well, I quit and that's it. You have to go through about 10 of the roughest or a 5-minute violation, just where the whole club goes to you and, you know, take what you can get, you know?
Trying to find a way out, but it's so hard when there's people still looking for you. There's people out there trying to kill you, and there ain't nothing, nothing, you know, I could do about it. I could stay away so I could stay out of their sight, but that doesn't mean I gotta hide forever. I don't like that, you know. But it does bother me when I have to go someplace and I have to watch my back all the time. You know, it's a scary feeling inside, but you gotta live with it.
But not only do gang members watch out for rival gangbangers, they also keep an eye out for the one they call the man.
They do realize that we have the biggest gang in Chicago. The Chicago Police Department is the biggest gang, and they don't want to have a problem with us.
Dan Noon, an 18-year veteran with the Chicago Police Department, is a detective with Gang Crimes North. The Gang Crimes Unit was organized in 1980 to specialize in identifying gangs and monitoring their criminal activity. Each of their 3 offices has a detailed file on known gang members, their street names, arrest record, and sometimes a photo. Nevertheless, gang members don't appreciate all the special attention.
Police? Oh, I hate them. I hate them totally. It's not one thing I like about police.
They mess with everybody. And that's what aggravates everybody. Everybody just wants to just go off on them. Because around here it gets kind of jumpy and everything. Even the cops and everything are kind of scared sometimes, you know, because they don't know what can happen to them. Because they know what they've done to us. You know, they know.
Just walking down the street, they don't care who you're with, you know. They want you, they're gonna get you. You know, they stop you, harass you. They're just as bad as we are. You know, hey, we used to hang in front of my house. You know, play softball in the street sometimes, play catch, or, you know, talk or something, whatever, you know. Cops would say, go to the park. The nearest park is the nearest rival club. You know, we can't go there, so the next best thing is being at home, you know, in front of your house, and that's when they pick up for disorderly, or whatever they can get, you know, any little thing they can get is for, you know, bad looks, you know, knocking off at an officer, you know, anything. You know, that aggravates the street more, you know. Oh man, they're bothering us, you know. If they're gonna bother us, let's do something, you know, so you know they have a reason.
Police makes the neighborhoods happy because there's so much violence out there. I think you'll find that when one of their guys is shot and we catch the guy that did it and he winds up getting 30 or 50 years in a penitentiary, not too bad then. Now, when they, in fact, in retaliation, do a roll on their rival gang and we have to lock one of those guys up and they wind up getting the time, it's obvious they don't like the fact. But I think you'll find with the hardcore gang members out there, they know us. They know the guys here from gangs. So if we've known them for years in that area, and we're fair with them. They know if we catch them dirty, they're going down. They realize if they're out there shooting people, we're going to do our best to put them behind the bars where they belong. So it's not really a question of them not liking us. They're not supposed to like us. Our job is not here to be, we're not officer friendlies as such. It's a combination of being a social worker, combination of being an arresting officer, combination of being an investigator. You have to do all 3. But for the most part, you have to just gain their respect and keep it.
Crackdowns are limited in their overall effectiveness because of a couple of things. Number one, not all of the police activities are what they should be. We see, unfortunately, some elements in the police department that are corrupt and abusive, and that certainly doesn't enhance the respect that the kids have for the law when the people who are supposed to enforce it abuse it.
The situation on the street certainly is not friendly. The goal of the Gang Crimes Unit and the State's Attorney's Office is to clear the streets of violent criminals. The ethics of how that is done is sometimes up for grabs.
Do you feel like you're involved in a battle or a war with gangs?
Well, yes, because of the fact that we're out here to prevent their criminal activity, prevent more innocent people from getting shot out here, which has been the case quite a bit recently. And just basically have a rapport with them. I mean, it can't be like we're friends. They've got to respect us, but at the same time, we have to respect them somewhat.
Working hand in hand with the Gang Crimes Unit is the Gang Prosecution Unit of the State's Attorney's Office. These special prosecutors pursue their job aggressively through innovative methods such as the Witness Protection Program, which shelters and relocates witnesses who feel their testimony will endanger their lives. As a result, conviction rates have risen dramatically from 55% to last year's 92%. The office of the unit proudly sports the scalps of hundreds of convictions.
Again, I got my ass in cause I had to stain that boy. Cause when I took the tricks, tease, I was singing. Fist full of bricks in my hand. I'm the main with the yam. Goddamn, I'm insane to the game. Look around, what do I see? Is it a bird? Is it a bee? Oh man, 5 folks, they coming for me. Pause for a minute, what should I do? Grab my pistol, wanna start shooting. Death through the cut, ballin'